Hello, and welcome to episode 17 of the Under Fire podcast. My name is Sam, and today we are coming live from inside the Dark City itself, more commonly known by us Monkai as Nottingham. But nevertheless, I am joined by the most skillful succubus that I know, Sam. How are you doing,
this
mate?
feels weird. This feels strange.
It's a bit of a topsy-turvy one this week, isn't it?
It feels like you're in my bed a little bit.
I'm in your bed with your wife. That's where I am. How are you doing?
I'm
You're
very
good?
well. I'm very well.
Good.
I'm very well. Are you?
Good. Yes, I am good. I'm good. I'm. Yeah, it's a bit weird being at the helm of this this little ship we've got
It's
going on.
not as easy as it sounds, is it?
It's not the butterflies. There's butterflies.
The nerves
But,
kicking.
but it gives you more opportunity to talk about today's topic. Which are you excited by? What we're going to be talking about today, Samuel?
I have been bursting at the seams to talk about this book. Honest to God, I had for the first time in a long time, was on the road with work on, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah.
And the whole drive, I was just thinking, I could say this, And
Yeah.
I've purposely not spoken to you much
No.
because I know I couldn't keep it in, the thoughts inside me. So
The
I'm ready
gushiness.
to, yeah.
Okay.
It's going to flow. As soon as the dam opens, it's going to flow.
Well, for those that are in the know, today is the release of the new Drukhari Codex. So the pre-orders have gone out. Unfortunately, our pre-orders haven't exactly come to us, which is a bit annoying. But we have enough information, and we have the know. And you've done your research, haven't you?
I sourced a perfectly legitimate PDF last
fine.
Saturday. So
Completely fine by me. It's out there. Who cares? We've paid for them. We just
Exactly.
haven't received them technically.
Exactly.
So no, yeah, going through this, it's going to be fun. There's going to be a lot of information, a lot of stuff to go through. But I think it's safe to say, because I mean, I've been collecting Drukhari for Dark Eldar to me, really, but I've been collecting for I don't even know, like 18, nearly 20 years or something now.
Yeah.
And the changes that it seems that they have made are probably excites me so much to see them come to where they come now, sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like the changes that have come through.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, what is it? 3 years now as well. You've had them about 3 years now as well.
I've had them about 3 years. Yeah.
About 3 years. So I mean,
but I've played against you. I've been familiar with them again for 20 years.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. So for both of us, seeing the changes now by what they've come through is very good, and it's very exciting. But I'm going to stop rambling, and I'm going to throw the seat back over to you because you've made a lot of notes.
I have made a ridiculous amount of notes.
You let me know there's many pages, and we need to finish this by a reasonable time.
Yes.
We don't want it to go too cray. So we're going to open up. Just what are your general thoughts to start with then of the Codex?
Okay, so here's the thing: the Codex is getting a lot of love online. It's getting some serious positive things said about it, and overall, it is a fantastic book. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not denying that at all. It is an amazing book, and Dark Eldar are definitely going to be my primary army going forward. I'm not putting the book down to any sort of degree like that. Yep. There are some parts of this book that are causing me to ooze salt from my pores. And
in what way? What do you mean?
There's just some things in here, and I'm going to go over them. That
okay.
There are some points where I read things and I actually laughed out loud at how bad some of the choices are in this book.
Oh, what? How bad? Some of the actual entries now, the units themselves, or
not so much the units, but it's mainly around stratagems,
okay.
And obsessions, choices, stuff like that. There's just a lot of choices in here that you're never going to take. And I've heard a lot of stuff online, people saying it's impossible to write a bad list for this book, and everything is incredible, and that's just not the case. Don't get me wrong. For every part of the book where there's a bad choice, there's also a good choice. So the book itself is powerful.
Good. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're not going to choose these bad choices. But coming out of the Death Guard Codex, where it felt like every single thing in that book was at least plausible as a choice.
There wasn't a lot that was really that bad at all, really. Yeah.
There are some things in this book where you just sort of go, what?
Why would you do that?
Exactly. Why? But like I say, overall, it's awesome.
Overall,
you're not going to be disappointed.
Okay.
Exactly. You're not going to be disappointed. And it captures the Drukhari very nicely. I'm going to say that.
Brings them up to 9th edition.
Yes.
In line. And I mean, from what people have said and little bits I've read, it looks like they're on par with, can take it to the Marines, can take it to Death Guard, can take, which is what we want, really. You don't want it to instantly look at it and go, oh, well, it's not as good as, this, that, and the other, or whatever. At least it's up there with them. Is that what we're thinking?
Definitely. Oh, yeah, definitely. It's just that there are certain options that are just like, what were you thinking here, GW? Like, I think it's clear that the book wasn't given the same care and attention maybe as the Death Guard one was. I don't know. I'm not privy to.
Not been gone through with a fine tooth comb.
That's what I think.
Well, it is a Xenos book at the end of the day, and let's be honest,
that's where the salt comes.
Yeah, nobody really.
And there's a few things that I'll talk about, but
okay. So, what do you want to open with, like the army-wide rules, or? Yeah.
So just to sum up the codex and what I think from reading it is that it captures that Drukhari style in that if you're a casual player of Drukhari, you won't experience this as powerful as someone who's committed a serious amount of time into this book, which I think I said last week that I wanted that from the book. It rewards you for playing like an Archon and knowing the list, and it will punish you hard for making mistakes.
Yes.
Because you've had damage output across the board is obviously gone up a lot.
Yeah.
But there's very few buffs to the defense of the army.
Okay, yeah. So
and if you factor in
glass hammer,
still and then if you factor in that most of the armies in the game are getting shootier as well, it's really doubled down on that glass hammer aspect, which I absolutely love.
Yeah, yeah.
But I suspect in most games you will not have many models left by the end. You'll still win.
Yes, but don't get me wrong. You'll have been pretty heavily shot.
Yeah, you've got it, and you've got to be able to pick your fights, make your opponent fight on your terms, and make sure that the odds are always sort of in your favour.
Which is the Drukhari sort of.
It's the Drukhari way.
It's the way you want to be with them. Hit hard, surgical strike, and then die.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. You got to sacrifice your units. You got to think like an Archon. I'm going to send that squad over there. They're going to die, but I'm going to get some points while they die, and that's okay.
See, it's probably more so that Archon doesn't like those people on that raider. They may have tried to kill him at some point and go, no, you go right down there towards them Death Guard guys and die. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's cool.
And that's how it feels. So, Drukhari in its nature. But
very cool.
I'll go into. So we'll start with the army-wide special rules, which is actually a lot of what I'm going to talk about today. I've not done a unit-by-unit breakdown. There's a few units to talk about, but we just haven't got time to go through.
No, there's a lot. So there's a lot of stuff.
There's a lot. So let's start with the big one: power from pain. Okay.
Yes.
Now, power from pain has been with Drukhari for a long time.
Yep.
And it is their thing. I think it's their equivalent of "and they shall know no fear." Really,
it's to me, it's one of them things when you think about Dark Eldar, that it comes to mind straight away. It's like they're discussing the resilient for Death Guard, or like you say, they shall know no fear. Sorry, for Marines. Yeah.
So the worst thing about this is that in order to get power from pain, every single unit in your army must be a Drukhari. If you ally in anything, you lose it. Now, if you can give me a good reason as to why that needs to be the rule, I'm listening.
So, what we're talking ally in, as in, is the units in the Codex that aren't technically Drukhari, or
no? So, if I ally in Harlequins as a completely separate detachment, all my Drukhari will lose their power from pain. If I ally in some normal Eldar, all my Drukhari are going to lose their power from pain.
Okay.
Why?
What? What? You're not happy with that, or
no? Because why?
Oh, right. Sorry. Well,
Like,
I mean,
why?
I suppose it's just following with the theme of ninth, I guess, in like Marines. If you ally someone in, they
do Death Guard lose disgustingly resilient if they take
I believe
a detachment of Space Marine?
I believe so. I think you have to be all Death Guard. I mean, I have the codex somewhere. I can check that, and we could talk about that at the end. But I believe that is the same for Death Guard now.
Okay, but
I think so.
I mean, that makes it slightly better, but I still think,
I mean,
basically now, as a Drukhari player, you cannot take allies because the Power from Pain is built into the points of my units, and it's pretty key to the army. So
you need that, yeah.
It's killed off allies across the board, basically, which is a little bit disappointing.
The Dark Eldar want allies. Really?
Well,
they don't need allies. They are.
I get that.
They are. I guess.
But the whole lore at the minute is the Eldar are sort of pulling together a little bit with the Ari and stuff like that, and to just pull that out, and it's just odd. That's all I think. It's just odd.
There must. I guarantee if you look through it as it currently stands, there will be some combo that will just be like, that's just no. We can't allow that. Or, you know what I mean? I believe Death Guard and Marines are the same. I think everybody has to be in that detachment from the same from Dark Eldar or whatever. I believe it is the same across the board so far.
I'm going to check that. But okay, fine. But I still think it's a bit crap.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, fair enough.
So the actual Power from Pain itself is, I mean, the Unnerved from Suffering's turned to an invulnerable. We knew that was going to happen. We were not going to keep the disgustingly resilient type save.
Yeah.
The Eager to Flay has gone from re-rolling advances and charges to being allowing to advance and charge,
which is
good,
kind of tasty. That's nice.
It's nice. Yeah. I think. See, I didn't want to start with all the negative stuff, but
the good stuff will come. The good stuff will come.
The good stuff's coming. I didn't want to start this negative, but I feel like the re-roll was better because most of the time you can get close enough without having need to into advance and charge. You've got that speed, and the re-roll just gave you reliability. Now, yes, you can charge in advance, but you can still roll a 1/1 on that charge. You know what I mean? So a lot of people are saying this is a buff. I'm a little bit skeptical about it, but it's probably 6 of one and half a dozen of the other, really.
I mean, I could see it giving you a bit more flexibility. You could, you and not having to rely on, maybe a transport getting you somewhere. You could literally go, well, I can hide these squad of Wyches or whatever, behind the cover. I can get through to that, and then if I advance and then have the charge and have a good charge, there's like you say, there's pluses and minuses. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, and that's sort of the thing. The Power from Pain changes hit the Coven worst of all, really.
Right. Okay.
Who sort of relied on that more than the others, but anywho, it's good. It's there, provided you don't have allies. And now turn 4, your invulnerable save goes up to a 5+, which is nice. It's worth noting that people were pretty excited at first because they were like, "Oh, if you go Cabal of the Black Heart, then my vehicles can get these nice invulnerable save." Pretty much every vehicle across the board now has a 5+ invuln built in.
Okay, that's tasty.
Exactly, that's nice. So turns 1 and 4 aren't really affecting you by vehicles. Obviously, I'm not talking about Talos and Kronos, your transports and stuff, but
yeah.
And Flensing Fury is nice as well. Flensing Fury used to be adding 1 to hit rolls. Now it's got the extra bit where vehicle or monsters don't suffer a penalty for firing heavy weapons in engagement range, which is nice.
That's good. That's cool.
It's all
good for your Talos then.
Yeah, exactly.
What turn is that?
That's turn 3.
Turn 3, okay.
Which is good. Now, so that's Power from Pain. For me, it's maybe a little bit of a nerf, but probably it's just sort of on the same sort of level.
Yeah, okay.
Poison weapons. This is a key one that a lot of people have missed Poison weapons now specify an unmodified value.
Oh, okay.
Of a modified wound roll, whereas before it didn't say unmodified. So be aware of that. That is pretty big, really.
Whether that's a typo, could be.
It says unmodified wound roll, so we'll see. See if it gets changed.
What's that space?
Blade Artists is a really nice rule that nearly everything in the army has, infantry-wise.
This is one I've heard Blade Artists said a lot of times. What is that? I don't actually know what that is.
So Blade Art is basically whenever a model in this unit makes an attack with a melee weapon on a modified wound roll of a 6, improve the AP by 1.
Bless you. That's tasty. It's
really nice, and nice. As we'll see later on, there's ways to build on that.
Okay.
And ways to change that. So and I can't think of a single infantry unit that doesn't have that. Even the racks have got it.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
So it just gives you in a marine meta.
Definitely.
That is nice.
Some AP is on a cheeky 6. That's good.
That is very nice.
Very good.
A little something that might pee you off a little bit. Insensible to pain that Homunculus Coven stuff has, like your racks and stuff. That is now just disgustingly resilient. When they'd lose a wound, roll a d6 and a 5 up, it's not lost.
Well, we can just move on, really, can't we?
I think it's best if we do.
Let's just move on. Let's move on. So the whole theory of that sort of, I don't know why I'm getting angry. I quite like the changes, to be honest. I'm happy with how disgusting and resilient it is now, I guess. But
I could see why the Gefgar players might be a little bit perturbed, but it's there. The idea is it's not meant to be army wide. It's only army wide if you're going pure Coven.
Yeah,
really. So it's
the whole theory we sort of said about trying to speed up the game by getting rid of disgusting and resilient. That extra roll that you have to sort of go through. Yeah, that's got to happen.
I did think that, but the thing to remember with that is that racks have lost their built-in invulnerable, so they used to have a built-in 5 up.
Oh, they don't have an invul now.
They don't have an invul now.
Have they kept the same armor value? Is their armor the same, or have they got better?
They've got 6 up armor, but they've got the 5 up insensible.
So they've got the 5 up feeling of pain, but no invul. Okay, right, yeah. Okay.
So and there's ways for them to get things which we'll talk about.
Cool.
And then the other big one, and this is my personal favourite, changes to combat drugs. So you no longer have to give every unit a different combat drug.
Yes.
Happy days, because I always forgot. I even got to a point where I wouldn't bother.
It never made sense. I never understood it for that reason. It's like, are you running out of the drug? Are we limited? You know what I mean? As these watches are coming out of Comro, like, we've got no, adrenaline drug left. Just taking whatever they can. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like they're going out there. They're going out there with a purpose. So they are taking said drug to enhance that purpose. Yeah. So it's tailored. That's how they should be, tailoring it to what they are then fighting or what they're going.
That's the beauty of it.
A good change.
And some of them have changed. So Splinter Mind used to be a leadership increased by 2. It's now ballistic skill and leadership increased by 1, which is really nice.
So they're hitting on 2.
They're hitting on 2, something like on a Reaver squad or something like that, which
that's tasty.
Is nice. So and the only one that's sort of gone worse is the Adrenalite, which used to be +1 attack across the board. It's now +1 attack if you make a charge or perform a heroic intervention. I
guess because you've had the increase in attacks anyway.
Yes, exactly. And because you could just put it across the board.
Yeah. So there's no limitation. Everybody could have the same. If you had 20 squads of Watchers, they could all have the same one. Yeah, there's nothing at all. Okay.
So before the battle, so you don't have to, you can do it. I don't know, before the battle, presumably I'm saying I already know my armies. This is not part of the army list building, or is it? I suppose it is, isn't it?
So is it? It's not. Yeah. So it's. Yeah. You would have to have already.
You'd be doing it as part of your army list. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like taking your relics or something like that. It's. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So you can pick from the table, and there's no limit on who can have what, or you can roll 2 dice and have both.
Tasty. So you could get some nasty combinations, and I'm assuming through that.
Yeah, you could. I mean, you could have +2 move, and I don't know, an extra strength, and then you've got
that's a headache. That's a headache though. Rolling 2 for each squad. If you was just like a full on white, oh god, that's a lot of information that needs to be
They don't stack, but if you roll a double, you can re-roll. It's not you don't just get one; you get to re-roll. So
nice.
Overall, I'm so happy with that because, like I say, I just never remembered my combat drugs. I'm just going to give all my witches the same, and then I'll know.
Exactly. It just takes that one thing that you don't need to be thinking about that all the time. That's nothing to do with the fun part of the game. If that admin bit is taken care of before the game, then swish.
Yeah, and people are like, oh, you can just put tokens down. No, I don't want to. So I'm not.
Running around with tokens
everywhere. Beautiful. Right. I'm going to move on because we'll
be talking for a long time
in a situation. So what I want to talk about next, and I've tried to structure this in a way that makes sense. I wanted to talk about the Master Archon, Master Succubus, Master Homunculus stuff.
Yes.
Because this is nice.
Yes. I think this is one of them that I think anybody that's played Drukhari ever screaming out for.
Yeah.
100%. Absolutely screaming out for. Like they had this kind of before. You could have a Master Homunculus and you could have then just normal Homunculus. I think you could have. They did the same with the Archons as well. You could have an Archon and a Dracon and that sort of vibe, which just felt like a hierarchy. So bringing this sort of thing in is awesome to have that back in the game.
Yeah, definitely. So basically, I won't go into too much because it's been pretty well covered on like Warhammer Community and stuff like that. But you take an Archon, a Succubus, or a Homunculus. There is a points cost to increasing them to making them masters.
So it's not a CP situation.
It's not a CP. It's a points increase.
Lovely. Okay.
So it's 15 points for the Archon and the Succubus. It's 20 points for the Homunculus. So the Homunculus, and it should be 20 points for the Homunculus because he is the winner. Believe me.
Oh, okay.
he is the winner in this.
Right.
So I'm not going to talk about the Archon because it was all over. Like I said, it was all over Warhammer Community, and we are pushed for time. But it's good. You will be taking a Master Archon in most cases.
Tasty.
If you have an Archon. The Witch, the Succubus, I'm into this. Let me tell you.
Damn.
So when you upgrade to a Master, you get just an additional ability. This is not a Warlord trait. This is just an ability they get.
Yeah.
So the Succubus one is each time they make a consolidation move, they can move an additional 3-inch, and they don't have to finish the move closer to the closest enemy model.
Can choose where they want to go.
Now that opens up some shenanigans.
That's tasty.
Opens up some very nice shenanigans.
So when you think about piling.
Yeah, 6-inch consolidate, and you don't have to move close to the closest, which fits very nicely with the Warlord trait you can take.
Okay.
And you'll like this because this for me made me think of old school Lilith.
Okay.
Each time the Warlord fights, after any piling moves, until that fight is resolved, you can choose for its attacks characteristics to be equal to 3 plus the number of enemy models that are within 2 inches of it. So get yourself in a nice position and get ready to swing.
Swing and a mish. That's cool. Can you? I assume you could put the Succubus on any size base you want.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Cool. Dreadnought size base, whatever you want to do.
Big 160 mil all round. Happy days. Lovely.
Yes. There is a relic that you can take. I think there's better relics than this, but it's basically a glaive. Strength +2, AP -4, 2 damage. And a 6's invuln saves cannot be taken. So it's not bad at all.
Okay, cool. So so I'm assuming they have that blade master thing as well. The blade. What was it called?
The blade artist. Yeah.
So on 6's, that's also you can't invuln, and you're getting another minus. So that's -5. You basically you're done for. There's no getting around that on a 6.
Yes, definitely. Now, although I would definitely be doing a Master Succubus, but I'm all about that Watcher's life. You know that.
I know that. Yeah.
The homunculus stuff is nice, and there's a reason they're 5 points more.
Okay.
So the ability you get once per battle, when this model is destroyed, you can choose to roll a d6 at the end of the phase. If you do so on the 2-up, set the model back up as close as possible with d3 wounds remaining. So your homunculus is coming back from the dead.
Is that just a one-time thing?
Once per battle, when it's destroyed.
Sorry.
Yeah. Not just every time.
Hello. Right. That's cool. That's very cool.
It's cool. It's fluffy. I like that.
Stitches himself back together and his racks all put him together. Oh.
Speaking of racks, his Warlord trait, Twisted Animator, In your command phase, you can select one friendly rack unit within 3 inches of the Warlord. D3 destroyed models can be added back to the unit. Happy days.
Gee, that's nice.
That is nice. I told you the Homunculus is the winner in this.
It's cool. Yeah, I like that. Again, he's just stitching them back together with all these
exactly
little. Yeah, lovely.
And then the Relic's pretty good. Once per battle at the end of the movement phase, the bearer can use the Relic. If it does so, select one enemy unit within 9. Roll 1d6. On a 2-up, the unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. You pick one of these, sorry. So either you can roll a d6 on a 2-up, the unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. That's all right, fine.
Yep.
Here's the good bit. So you could either pick this one. Until the start of your next turn, any aura abilities that units have no effect.
Tasty.
So you can just turn off auras. Nice.
Yep.
Or, until the start of your next turn, that unit cannot be affected by aura abilities of friendly models.
Turn off that chapter master. Turn off that.
Exactly.
Whatever.
Or just turn off the squad so that they're not affected by if you can't reach the chapter master for whatever reason.
Yeah, they're giving you the flexibility is actually quite nice. Yeah, that's cool. You can either just there's only 3 of them left, I'll just kill them. Or there's more than that, I'll just stop you from getting anything. That's cool.
However, and this is the salt flow has begun again.
Okay.
So and this one stung a bit. So Homunculus themselves have lost all options that they had in the last codex.
As in weaponry?
As in weapon options. They have no more options on their entry.
Right. So it's just bare bones, what you get, you get.
Yeah. You don't get... So there's a lot of people out there who've got these nice converted Homunculus to have, different guns that can no longer use those. But again, my question is, why?
Why? That is I mean, does the kit... I believe the kit for the Homunculus even comes with... Does it come with a hex rifle or something? Or am I thinking...
Well, so this is my thing. So if that's not the case, and if it's because Games Workshop are doubling down on not doing weapon options that they do not sell, you show me where the Agonizer is on the Archon kit. There isn't one.
Yeah.
But you can still take an Agonizer.
Still take an Agonizer.
So if we're doing this, if the rule is we only, you can only take the kits we sell, then let's do it. Why has the Homunculus just randomly lost?
How boring.
Exactly.
How terribly boring. That is the salt cometh and can flow.
The salt floweth when I read that. Because I just thought,
that's silly.
Why? If we're going to do it, do it.
If people want to put a fucking... I don't even know what they could take. They could take the electro-corrosive whip thing, I think, in the last edition. If they wanted to take a whip, you can make a whip. You could get a whip from somewhere else. That's not GW's issue. That's the person making the whip's issue. Yeah. What? Yeah, that's really weird. Why take that away? There's literally no way of giving him anything then. Nothing.
No.
What is his base kit then? Just quickly to...
I think he is just the tools.
So I think he had like an Ichor injector or something like that.
So the Ichor injector has changed. So he comes with Stinger Pistol, Homunculus Tools, Ichor Injector, Scissor Hand.
Right.
So the Ichor Injector now is just you do one attack with it. If it hits, it's one mortal wound, and then it's done.
Oh, right. Okay.
And then he's got his Homunculus Tools are poison 2 up. Or you can use his Scissor Hand, which is poison 4 up, 2 additional attacks. It's AP -2.
Just 1 damage.
Just 1 damage, and his Stinger Pistol is just poison 2 up, 1 damage. His base kit is all right. It's not great, but just not having up. Like if we're gonna do it, if we're gonna say that we're not doing rules for things we don't sell models for, then let's do it. Let's not randomly. And then if we're gonna do it, you've got to consider that as a Xenos player, we don't have 1,000 Primaris lieutenants to choose from.
But even some of the I suppose to be actually I was just going to make a point saying they haven't got that many options for like Primaris and stuff, but there is different variants with different, like you can't change like certain loadout change that you can't make a lot of changes, but they do at least have something to swap out. That's annoying. That's annoying. Very annoying. Don't like that.
Podcast I was listening to, the guy's got 4 converted Homunculus that you now can't use, which is just a bit feel bad, you know?
Yeah, 100%. Like a homunculus as well. All right, they're not. You don't think homunculus and think, oh god, what a weapon in combat. But the kit that they do have should be very potently like that Ichor injector. If you're in combat or something like that, that should do some damage.
Yeah.
You know?
And here's the thing, like, what homunculus are all about? Altering themselves, giving themselves extra arms, giving themselves eyes in the back of it. Like, they're about what's the word? The word's gone out of my head. Oh my god!
Modification.
Yeah, body modification and changing up themselves and stuff like that. So, but now every homunculus on the is exactly the same. It just doesn't feel right.
No.
But this is what I mean when I say that it just feels like there wasn't as much care put into it.
No.
The Archon can take things that he doesn't have in his kit. So,
okay. Anyway, and flow.
Put the salt shaker away because we're moving on to something tasty.
Hit me up.
Favoured retinues.
Okay.
This I like. So if you have one of the master Archon, Succubus or Homunculus, you can turn one of the relevant troops choices into either Cabala Trueborn, Hecatrix Blood Brides, or Himoxite Racks.
Himoxite Racks, I like that. That's
and they're all worth doing.
This is the bit I was very happy to see. Like, I've not looked through a lot of it. I saw what they did with the Trueborn stuff online, but the rest of it, I'm really happy to see these back because why they took them out of the game, I don't know. So I'm happy to see them back. I'm happy to see them back.
So it's a points thing. It's not a command point thing. The points go up. It's 2 points per model, regardless of who they are.
Cool.
So Cabala Trueborn, these were pretty well discussed online, but they get a BS of 2 up. You can only do this to 10, by the way, maximum.
Okay, yeah.
So it's got to be. You can't do it to a squad of 20. It's only a squad of 10. So they get 2 up ballistic skill. They get an extra leadership, and they ignore any ballistic skill modifiers. So they're always hitting on 2s.
Very good.
Don't mind if I do. I'll take it. This is the one I like. Again, I'm all about them witches.
All about that booty.
Hecatrix Blood Brides. I'm making some of these. I'm going to get some of the witch elves from Age of Sigmar.
Daughters of Cain.
Daughters of Cain stuff, just do some crazy stuff. So they get a weapon skill 2 up, they get an extra leadership. However, each time they trigger the Blade Artist ability, the AP is increased by 3 instead of 1.
Oh, Rending!
Rending is back!
Oh, man. Oh, that's cool. Is that an additional 3 or it just goes to 3? Okay, so
3 instead of 1.
Okay,
no.
Cool.
But I will take that.
Because they have a lot more attacks now, don't they?
They've got an extra attack now, so they are... you're rolling a lot of dice. And if you think the 2s to hit, you could give them the combat drug to give them that extra strength.
Yeah.
So if you're coming up against Marines, you're not losing a lot in the roll into wound. You're coming at him with... I mean, they've got 3 attacks each now. So you could have 30 attacks. You're going to roll some 6s.
That's tasty.
You're going to roll some 6s.
Very nice. Very nice change.
Very nice change. And just... I mean, there's a part of me that's like, it would have been really nice to see new models for these and have them as an actual unit entry. But I'm happy to have the conversion opportunities.
Upgrade kit would have been also
Upgrade kit would have been nice.
Do an upgrade kit, some new helmets or something fancy, some fancier blades or something. Yeah, that'd been nice.
To do that, but still have like mandrakes in Finecast would have been a bit like, come on, you know.
Very true.
So I'm happy to have the conversion opportunities. Homoxites for the racks. So their invulnerable save goes up by 1, so they have a 4 up invuln.
Tasty.
Increase the unit's save characteristic and invulnerable save by 1 to a maximum of 4 up.
Okay. I thought they didn't have an invuln.
They don't have the invuln. That's where I'm getting confused.
Okay, cool.
There's a way to get things like invulns.
Right, with you.
Add 1 to leadership again.
Yep.
And then this is the interesting one. Once per phase, the first time a saving throw is failed for this unit, the damage characteristic of that attack is changed to 0.
Once per phase?
Once per phase, yeah.
Okay. So they get a free
ignore,
get lost, shug. Yeah, you're not doing anything per phase. So that could be in the psychic phase, I'm assuming a smite against them. They can just go no.
Yeah.
Nice.
You stop one of the mortal wounds, so
that's cool.
They're good. For me, I think the Trueborn are the best ones on there.
Is that one? Sorry, is that one wound or is that like an attack? Does it say
the damage characteristic of the attack is changed to 0? So if you're taking D3 more wounds, you're just going to stop one of them.
Cool.
But if you get hit by a las cannon,
you just
for some reason you just nope the lot off. So
that's cool. Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
But like I say, I think the Cabala Trueborn are the best ones on there.
Yeah,
I think I can't think of many reasons not to take at least one squad of Trueborn if you're running a Cabal list. Particularly when
there's not going to be a time where you're probably not going to turn your HQ, which has got to be one of those 3, into, unless you take you're going to make them into the beef daddy. You know what I mean? It's So you may as well.
Unless you're really tight for points, you're going to do it.
Yeah.
So happy days.
Cool. But that adds a bit of fluff as well. That adds a bit more, what's the word? That thematic sort of element back into the Drukhari, which is nice as well.
Yeah, it does. Definitely. Now, do you want to talk about the specific obsessions, or do you want to talk about a few little units? I'm going to let you choose.
Let's go over the units, and then we'll go on to the obsessions, because that could lead nicely into stratagems and bits and bobs and all that sort of jazz. So we'll go through the units.
So I've not, for time, gone deep into every unit. We'll save that for next week. I do want to talk about Lilith Hesperx.
Oh, what a woman!
What a woman!
She whips her hair back and forth.
She does. Okay. She really does. So, web skill 2 up. Happy days. Ability skill 2 up. She's strength 3, toughness 3 as expected. She's got 5 wounds. She's got 7 attacks.
Oh, Lord.
Which is nice. She's leadership 8. She's got a 6 up save, but she has the 4 up invuln. So,
is that just in combat, or is that 4 up invuln?
No, that's all the time? All everywhere. And she's -1 to hit with melee attacks.
Of course she is.
Because she's lightning.
Just I don't know what's hair and what's blood.
Her weapon.
Yeah,
this is where she gets a little bit confusing for me. So her weapon, a Lilith blade, she's strength +1, so she's coming in at strength 4. She's AP -3. It's only 1 damage.
Okay.
So she's basically a blender. You want her into squads.
It is just a little blades into. Are they just normal blades, or
they're just blades? Lilith blades, they're called.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. 6s to hit, score an additional hit. So on 7 attacks, that is nice.
That's nice. And what was the minus? -3.
-3, yeah. So
she's getting that 6s -4 as well.
-4, yeah.
Cool. Right.
So that's so she's really good for just putting into like squads.
Just blend up
just tearing
infantry.
Up.
Yeah.
Which makes this rule a little bit weird. So she's got Atlas to challenge. Each time this model makes a melee attack that targets a character, you can reroll the hit and you can reroll the wound.
Okay,
I don't think I'm going to charge her into characters if I can avoid it.
Is there any
at 1 damage?
Is there any benefits to her? Any damage benefits that she can gain? Any from any direction? Any strategy?
Kind of. So
there is ways.
So she rerolls wounds rolls for 1 for all Cult of Strife core units in the 6-inch of her. So she is one of those herself.
Yeah.
She has the extra 3-inch to consolidation and doesn't have to move closer to the close enemy model. She's got that.
Okay, so she's got the traits of the master.
She's got the traits, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Which is nice. She's got no escape, so it's difficult to fall back from her.
Yeah.
Although not as difficult as it was last edition, but because you have to win the roll off now. Before you just had to draw or win.
Oh, okay. Right, okay. Yeah.
And then she got natural perfection. So remember, in the lore, Lilith doesn't use combat drugs. She's straight edge. She's clean, but she does have natural perfection. So in your command phase, select one of the 2 choices. Thrilling acrobatics. She can charge in a turn in which she fell back or advanced. Happy days. Or gory spectacle. If she destroyed any enemy models, then at the end of the fight phase, she can fight again.
Cool.
You want her against squads.
Yeah, she's going to tear through. Yeah, the 1 damage is the issue.
That's the stinger.
That sounds like the only issue, really. Everything else is pretty good.
If she was damage 2, I'd put her into characters, but at damage 1, as someone who can't really take a backswing that well,
I think what they should have done, because I think probably damage 2 on 7 attacks and being able to fight again, and 6s was Do you say she gets an additional hit?
Additional hit on 6s, yeah.
I could see that getting very out of hand. But what they probably should have done that would have been better was if she gets a 6, you get your extra minus, you get another hit, but that other hit is like a 2 damage hit or something.
Yeah.
You know, just to add that bit of, because then you would think I could chuck her into a character and
a chapter master
have a good Barney, yeah.
But she's good. There's no way is she a bad choice.
No,
definitely not.
Very cool.
But let's talk about the beast himself, Drukhari. Now this guy is just across the board beautiful.
Okay.
He's got better. His points went up, but his points ain't gone up enough. I'll tell you that.
Right. Okay.
I fully expect the points on this guy to go up again. So, in weapon skill 2 up, ballistic skill 2 up, strength 4, toughness 4, 6 wounds, 5 attacks, leadership 9, and a 2 up save.
Lovely.
He has an invulnerable save.
Ooh.
He has a 4 up invuln. Eternal Warrior.
Is that always?
Always. Just this model has a 4 up invuln.
It's what he needed.
It's what he needed, and it's also what the Phoenix Lords for the Eldari need. So if they get it, which looks like they might, happy days.
That's good. That's very good. He needed that. I think he needed that.
He did need that, and he has it. He's got Master of Blades, so any friendly Incubi unit within 6 inches of him, add 1 to the wound roll.
Very nice.
That's nice, particularly on Strength 4. And he's not Strength 4 because we'll get into his weapons.
Yep.
But I will talk Ancient Warrior. Each time an attack is allocated to him, subtract 1 from the damage characteristic to a minimum of 1.
Very nice. That's nice.
Again, this guy was before the absolute and glass hammer of death, and they've just given him some survivability buffs, which is just awesome.
He's got more than 1 turn in him. He's not going to get smashed by the chapter master if he hasn't quite killed him, I guess.
Exactly. That's
cool.
what it is. And then he has Tormentors. Now, if I'm right in thinking the Incubi have this rule as well, I'm just going to check before.
So, yeah.
They do, yeah. So this has changed to actually be useful now.
Yeah.
So at the start of the fight phase, select 1 enemy unit with engagement range and roll 2d6. If the result is greater than the enemy's leadership until the end of the phase, that unit is not eligible to fight until all eligible units from your army have done so.
Absolutely amazing.
Just lock down.
Yeah, amazing rule.
Particularly for this guy. And then his weapons, you can do a single blade attack, which would make him strength 6, AP minus 3, 3 damage. Or you can do dual blades, which would be strength 5, AP minus 3, 2 damage, but 2 additional attacks.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
I can't think of a reason not to take it.
I think it stands that Incubi in general are very good as well, but why you wouldn't have him in there? I mean, I know you can take, if you're going to do like the big real space raid thing that they previewed online, you've got to take 1 of each character, and you've got to take an Archon, a Succubus, and a Homunculus, haven't you, to do like the real space thing. So I don't think you can't take 4 HQs, so you might be struggling for that sort of thing, I guess.
Fair play, yeah. But
if you're doing that, but just
it's worth a patrol detachment, believe me.
Just to whack him in. Yeah, true. Very true.
So that brings us nicely to, I wanted to talk briefly about the transport's capacity increasing.
Yes. Yeah.
So Venom's now being 6, and strangely, Raiders now being 11.
Yeah. The Venoms I get.
Everyone's saying this.
I'm on board with that, but we were speaking about it before, weren't we? And Raiders, why? Like, it makes sense for it to be a 10-man. Like, I don't know. Don't get me wrong. It's happy days. Like, you can have 10. I guess you can have 10 Trueborn now and put your Archon in there and have your, that sort of thing going. But I don't really think that was necessary. I mean, Raider.
If it was me, I'd have just gone to 12, just so it.
True. Well,
felt like double a Venom. Like 11's just such a weird number.
Like Wave Serpents and that, they're 12, aren't they? I believe they're 12 and stuff. So to fit with the Eldar, I mean, if you look at one of them Raiders, if I don't know the weight capacity of a Raider, but you could probably get about 25, 50 loads on it, yeah. So
hanging off the edge.
It's what, Venoms. I'm completely on board with. I'm completely on board with the Raiders, but the Raiders just a bit of a weird one for me. That was all.
It is. Raiders also gone up to toughness 6, by the way. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Oh no, that's interesting.
Which is
another again. Happy days.
Which is great, yeah. Which is, why not? Why not? The only other unit I wanted to touch on today, although I will say Hellions, don't believe the hype, but I'll talk about that next week. That's a little teaser.
Okay.
People are getting very hyped about Hellions, and I don't see why.
Oh, right, okay.
I may be wrong, and I probably am.
Well, like I say, for next week, when we get the book, if you can really go through it properly and have a good sit down, that'll be next week.
Definitely. I wanted to talk about the Court of the Archon, which is
okay.
They've done this in a very weird way. So
I love the Court of the Archon as well.
I love the Court of the Archon. I love any sort of bodyguard unit at the best of times, but I do love the Court of the Archon. So now it's a unit itself. They're not separate units in the Codex.
Right, so it's
So you take a Court of the Archon and then you fill it as you see wish. So you can have 0 to 4 of any of the 4 choices, yeah? So you could go 4 Slith if you wanted.
Or you can have 4. Yeah. So it's not like the data sheet thing. Oh, no, because it's now a squad. You only take it. Right, okay, yeah.
Yes.
Ignore me. Yeah, cool.
So the downside is because they're a squad, they've all had to be given the same toughness. Okay. For when you shoot at a squad.
Yeah, okay.
So the Slith have down from 5 down to 3. Which feels a little weird.
Yeah, that's not... Okay.
Yeah,
that's weird.
And it's the way they've done it's a little weird. Like, I'm not going to go through it all because it's pretty complex, but the rules and all that, because it's covering the whole squad, it just doesn't feel very clean and organised, just from a really weird point of view. And for me, the way to do this was to do it the same way the Death Guard have it. They're elite choices. You take 3, and that's 1 elite slot.
Yeah, I mean, I believe before they had separate data sheets, and you just chose.
And they didn't take up slots. Yeah.
No, yeah, that's an odd move. I don't know. Unless there must be a reason. There must be something in there.
I mean, it's not the end of the world, but I love a Court of the Archon. So,
do they still do their individual sort of special ability bits and stuff like that?
Yeah.
That's still relatively the same.
So the Slith still has the cold-blooded bodyguard, where friendly Archon cannot be targeted within 3 inches and stuff like that.
Right. Okay. Cool.
The Lahamium has the toxin crafter thing. Similar to what it was before, which is within, and this works for the Trueborn as well, within 3 inch of her, or of the unit that contains her, so you can get a little bit of extra range on it.
Yeah.
Modified roll of a 6 automatically wins the target and stuff like that. So they're good.
Okay, so they've got the place.
Yeah, definitely.
An odd way to
just an odd way to have it organised, but it's fine.
So I assume they've got to be within coherency and all that sort of.
That's it.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, they're a unit now.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
The Archon is not part of.
That's cool.
But it's all good. I mean, for me, and this is going a bit off topic, I'd love to see independent character come back as a rule where I can just attach units to squads again.
Yeah, I did like that.
I just really like that.
Yeah. But, I did, and then also, if you wanted to get at that character, it's a lot harder to get at the character, sure. I guess.
With all the auras and stuff.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Cool.
So that's all the units I wanted to touch on.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So
today,
do you want to talk to us then about the obsessions?
Let's talk obsessions, shall we? Because there's a few bits of this where I am in love, and there's a few bits of this where the salt floweth freely.
Would you say some of them you're a bit obsessed with?
Some I am obsessed with, some I am not. So,
okay.
The first thing to say about this is the sheer amount of options you have here is just insane. Just from so you've got, I should probably say this, you've got the named obsessions, so the Blackheart, Cult Strife and all that.
Yeah,
you've got
you still
4 Cabal, 3 Witches and 3 Homunculus, yeah?
Cool, yeah.
And then they have a choose your own section as well.
Yes, you can. Is it again, take 2?
Take 2, some you only pick 1.
Cool.
As per normal. But if you think in a real space raid, just with the name stuff alone, there's 36 different combinations you could make.
Hoser. Yeah.
Before you even factor in the choose your own stuff, which I've not even bothered doing the math on because it'd just be ridiculous.
You got some options.
So just the sheer amount of options you have is beautiful. Now, some of the options are not great, but it's I love choices when list building. So.
Putting that in the codex itself gives, like you say, it's in your hands. You do what you want with it. I'd rather have more rules than a limited choice.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So
awesome.
I'm going to start with Cabal. I'm not going to go through them all, or we'll be here all night. I'm just going to talk about my favourite one of each. What I will say is that Cabal in general, most of their strength increases is coming from stat line changes rather than these sort of rules. The changes to Dark Lancers going to D3+3. Heat Lancers have changed, although they're not just Cabal. Getting the 4-up armor, stuff like that. That's where a lot of the Cabal strength is now, rather than in these rules.
Okay.
The one I want to talk about is the obvious one, the one most people I think are going to take, the Cabal of the Poison Tongue.
Yes. A little bit strong.
I mean, I think we need to play with it.
I think a little bit strong.
I think it's definitely strong. I think we need to play with it to get an idea of just how strong it is. So, if anyone that doesn't know, each time a model with this obsession makes an attack with a poisoned weapon, improve the poisoned weapon ability by 1 to a maximum of 2+.
A little bit strong.
By the way, a maximum of 2+. Just so you know.
All I'm thinking of is Mortarion and just crying as he's being pelted with 3-up to wound poison.
Yeah. But that's not all.
It's not fun.
They also have, if an enemy unit has any models destroyed by an attack made with a poison weapon, until the end of the turn, subtract 1 from combat attrition tests. So that's just a little,
A bit strong.
If it wasn't strong enough, we're going to add this little thing on. Happy days.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I've not seen the other changes, but from seeing that one, I don't think I need to see the other ones. Really, I think.
I mean, you'll want to see the others.
Yeah,
you'll want to see the others, but so each of these gets the obsession rule, a trait, a warlock trait, a relic, and a stratagem. For the Cabal of the Poison Tongue, the obsession is obviously really good. The stratagem is great. The other two are a little bit meh, but the obsession and the stratagem are so good that it doesn't matter. It outweighs any. So the stratagem is Insidious Misdirection. So use it at the start of the first battle round. Select up to 3 units from your army and redeploy them. Tasty. Something that Drukhari have needed, I think, for some time.
Bit of movement.
Bit of Eldar trickery.
Yeah, that's what you want to see.
That's what I like to see. The relic it's a pistol, so relic pistols.
Yeah.
Are we still doing this? Like they're never going to be as good as the other options, but it's a poison weapon 2-up and it ignores lookouts. So it's AP -2 D3 damage. It's all right. There's better options. The Warlord trait. Yeah, it gets 5-up feel no pain, 5-up disgustingly resilient thing. And units within 6 inches of him ignore modifiers for combat attrition. It's all right. Again, there's probably better ones, particularly if you're having a Master Archon.
I mean, if you're doing Cabal, I would say most of the time you're taking small units of Cabalite warriors anyway, in Venom,
maxing
or whatever.
It takes 10, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not going to come up a lot.
But it's all about that obsession, baby. It's all about that 3-up poison.
That's the worry. I think that's it's a bit strong. I'll be honest with you. I think a bit strong.
Here's the thing. So it is strong.
That's all you need to say.
No. So, but you've got to think a lot of people are going to be doing the Real Space Raiders stuff.
Yep.
So it's not like every troop unit they have is going to have this rule. It's just going to be those Cabalites. So maybe 1, maybe 2 units.
Does it affect vehicles?
Each time model with this obsession makes an attack with a poison weapon. So
and I think
do
the vehicles get the obsession? Yeah,
I assume so. Let's
just
double check.
Get the obsession.
I think they do, because that's nice for the Venom.
Then that's a bit strong.
I will check.
A little bit strong.
To Venoms. Phil, while I go to the right page.
But I can't stress.
Too late, I've made it.
I can't stress how strong.
I mean, they do get the choice amongst this Cabal or Wych Cult, so Yes.
Well, if they get the obsession as well, yeah, that's some pretty tasty stuff. I mean, you would probably if you wanting to lose friendships or you want to win a tournament, you'd go full Cabalite sort of Cabal and just do that and have loads of venoms, loads of splinters, rifles. That's just tasty.
I've got something to tell you later that's going to really, really add to your particular hatred of that particular rule, and I'm excited to tell you it, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to leave you shaking for that one.
Okay.
The choose your own stuff for the Kabals, everything that was already there before is pretty much there in one way or another. I'm not going to go through each one.
Yeah.
There's some really weird ones in there. Again, see if I can think of an odd one off the top of my head. I think most of the Cabal ones are all right.
Yeah.
By the way, you can take the Toxin Crafters from the choose your own to increase a modified roll of a 6 with the poison weapon makes it 2 up. So if you hit on a 6, it becomes poison 2+.
Oh Lord. Okay.
That's an all-consuming one, so you only get that, and each time it makes an attack with a poison weapon, re-roll a wound roll of a 1.
Right. Okay.
Is 6s to hit becoming poison 2 up and re-rolling wound rolls of 1 better than having 3 ups across the board?
Oh,
it's a math thing, I think.
It depends, doesn't it? Yeah, it depends.
It needs a bit of playtesting, I think, but it's interesting.
Very cool. Very cool.
Let's speed on. Wych Cults. I've chose my favourite for this to be the Cult of the Cursed Blade. Now, the Cult of Strife are in here. Obviously, they have additional rules in the Rust book, where it's called the Book of Rust.
The Book of Rust, yeah.
So I'm not going to talk about them until we know the full picture.
No, hopefully next week we can go through that as well.
Yeah. So, Cult of the Cursed Blade. Obsession, only the strong will thrive. Add 1 to the strength characteristic of models with this obsession.
Very nice.
Strength for witches.
Plus, you could also, I'm assuming, do the combat drugs to make them strength 5 witches.
I could think of no reason why you can't do that.
Absolutely devastating, then.
Absolutely devastating. I mean, almost overkill, really. You probably want it as an extra toughness or something like that.
Yeah, true. Probably.
But it would still be fun just to, I'm going to wound these Death Guard on 4s because that's what I want to do. They also get, and this is the one I really like for these. So each time you make an unmodified saving throw of 6 for a model with this obsession against a melee attack, after the attacking model has finished making its attacks, the enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
I really like that.
Yeah, that's nice.
Especially if you're against armies that are just throwing a load of hits at you, like against other Drukhari, or something like that.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Yeah, it could really get out of hand. That goes nicely with the Warlord trait, I think it is. Yeah, so I like this one, and this is what I'm going to be going with, I think. So the Warlord trait is Treacherous Deceiver. Each time you make an unmodified saving throw, 4 up for the Warlord against a melee attack. Yep. After the enemy model's unit has finished making its attack, the enemy mortal unit suffers 1 mortal wound.
Lovely. Absolutely lovely. Boom.
On a 4 up. So you can get some serious
some damage.
Some serious stuff. On top of that, the Relic, Traitors Embrace. If the bearer is destroyed by a melee attack, roll a d6. On a 2 up, after the attacking model's units have finished its attacks, the unit suffers d3 plus 3 mortal wounds.
Ooh, my lord.
So you're going to... The way I'm thinking of running it is I'm going to have a Succubus pimped out with relics, which we'll talk about next week, this particular combo, but you can give her the Triptych Whip for a serious amount of attacks and stuff like that.
Yep.
I'm going to charge her into someone just ridiculous, like Abaddon.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Do as much damage as I possibly can. Get the Warlord trait, so when Abaddon hits her back, I can do some mortal wounds, and if he kills it, hopefully do another d3 plus 3 mortal wounds. I think that's a decent chance of taking Abaddon out.
See, it's just nice to have like a missile that you can just go and do what you do best.
And it's not a lot of points, I think it's like 70, 80 points, something like that.
That's very cool.
Just charging, hello Abaddon, please kill me so I can do 6 mortal wounds to you. So
that leads to some nice. I mean, you could threaten people without actually having to do anything. You don't want to be hitting them, so you know what I mean. It's you just trying to stay away from her, then this sort of thing.
Yeah, please don't come near me. The
Very cool.
Witch Cult Choose Your Own Adventure stuff. There's some odd ones in here. For example, where is it gone? Precise Killers is a nice one where you can have the Blade Artist's ability happen on a 5-up instead of a 6.
Okay, cool.
For the extra AP.
Yeah.
And you can combine that with Slashing Impact, where when a model... no, it isn't Slashing Impact. Which one is it? Can't remember. There was a good one for it to go with. Very professional of me, but...
That's fine.
Again, there's some bad ones in there, but you've got good choices.
But overall, nice.
Overall, nice.
Yeah.
All the name ones in the Witches are the 3 name ones are all pretty reliable. Particularly the Cult of the Red Grief, the relic they've got is nice.
Very nice.
I won't go into it now.
Okay.
Coven. They're not as good as they used to be, but I've picked the Prophets of Flesh.
Okay.
They've lost their 4-up invuln that they used to give to everything, but it was ridiculously overpowered anyway.
Well,
it was the only one everybody ever took.
Say that to a hardcore Coven player.
They know. What they do get is Connoisseurs of Pain. So at the start of your command phase, each character, grotesque, or monster unit with this obsession regains 1 lost wound.
Okay.
It's nice. Your Talos, Kronos, stuff like that, getting wounds back.
Yeah.
I take it.
Okay. Yep.
The key one with this, though, is each time an attack made against a unit with this obsession, unless the attack has strength 8 or more, and a modified wound roll of 1, 2, or 3 always fails, irrespective of any abilities. So it's essentially you've got transhuman
on them all the time.
Unless it's strength 8 or more. But, you know, if you're firing strength 8 into my racks, please do.
Yeah, I suppose.
That, I think, is tasty.
Yeah. If you're doing, for racks, that is, especially now they've lost their invuln, haven't they, racks? So they've got a 5-up feel no pain, and you can only wound them on 4s. That's pretty tasty.
I think so. I think that's the best one out of the options, but they're not as good as they used to be. If you're a Prophets of Flesh man, you know, as a lot of people are, you're not going to be as good as you were last time, but you shouldn't be.
Okay, so they're just they're going to have to change a bit how they play, how they whatever.
Definitely.
Cool.
The Warlock trait's nice. You get to choose the Warlock, one of these 2 things when you set the model up, which is nice. So you can either give him an extra toughness or an extra movement and attack. Sorry, an extra 1 toughness and wound or 1 movement and attack. So
depending how you want to play.
Depending how you want to play
a bit more attacky, yeah. Although now you've said that they basically haven't got any decent weapons.
Yeah, that stings a little bit. It's
like, I'll have another attack with my fist.
Yeah, you're probably going to go for toughness and wounds just to keep them alive.
I would probably say so, yeah.
Relics, the Vexator Mask is still here. Enemy units can't fire Overwatch at the Bearer.
See, that was still pretty cool.
It's cool, and at the start of the fight phase, select an enemy unit within 3. That unit is not eligible to fight until all other units in your army have done so. So
right, okay,
it's all right.
See, you know that the only thing I was sorry to just go back a bit. The Vector Mask. I've always thought with the Vector Mask, it makes no sense to me that the Homunculus would be the one to lead the charge.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I've always thought that should be more. He can bestow to a unit. Like to one unit, you can't be overwatched. Do you know what I mean? It's weird that really in that situation you would charge with the Homunculus first. He ain't bothered. He's gonna let his men go. He's gonna let the racks go in. He's gonna let his creations go in. He's not gonna go and hurt himself. Yeah. So that's just always been a funny one. But yeah. Anyway, sorry, I diverted there.
That's fine. It's acceptable. The stratagem is nice as well. It's either 1 CP or 2 CP. It's 1 CP if you put it on a normal unit, racks. It's 2 CP if you put it on grotesque. You can reroll hits.
Absolutely. Yeah. Sound.
Why not? Simple. Do it.
That's cool.
Enjoy it.
That's very cool. Yeah, I like that.
And then again, you've got the the choose your own stuff. Dark Technomancers, which was the big one last edition from Psychic Awakening, where you could basically overcharge any shooting weapon you had. That has changed a little bit.
Okay.
But it's still there in a way, one way or another. I won't go into it too much.
So is that pretty much everything?
That is everything. That are my choices for obsessions: Poison Tongue, Curse Blade, Prophets of Flesh. If I was to do a real space raid,
that's what you're going to go with.
That's what I think I'd bring.
Okay. So beautiful, and like I say, we'll go a bit more in depth with lots of other things anyway next week when we do a proper deep dive once we've got the books and that. But
there are some combos, believe me.
There's some stuff to be had by it sounds. Yes, it sounds very cool. Right, so stratagem wise, is there any just briefly to go over that stick out as like a very good stratagem?
There are. So the first thing I want to say is that the stratagems that you enjoyed in last edition are still here in some way or another.
Good. Okay.
Fire and Fade's now called Never Stationary. It's still there. Lightning Fast Reactions is still here, but it's now 1 CP rather than 2. But obviously,
very nice.
You can't go less than -1 to hit now, so it's not as powerful as it was. So it makes sense.
Can you still use it on infantry or anything? You can still use it for anybody. I'm assuming. So I mean, before you could use it. You could stack the modifiers. Last edition,
you can still stack it.
But it's
you can't use it on Among Us Covens, obviously. But
no,
it's still there. It's just 1 CP.
Lovely.
So I'm going to start with the one that's going to. I think you might start to ooze salt at this point.
Okay.
So this one is called Potent Metallotoxins. Okay.
Sounds good.
It's 2 CP.
Cool.
Use this stratagem in your shooting phase or the fight phase when you select a Drukhari unit from your army to shoot or fight. Until the end of the phase, each time an attack is made with a poison weapon by that unit, the ability does not exclude vehicle units.
Okay.
So my 3-up poisons work on your tanks.
Oh. Okay.
So it does exclude Titanic units, so your knights are safe.
Okay, so you change a poison attack from being 6s to hit, 6s to wound, for a vehicle to just what it would be if you was hitting infantry or anything.
Yeah, exactly, for 2 CP.
I think that's fair. I can
with that?
I can live with that. That's yeah. I like that. I like that.
Okay.
2 CP.
I thought you would be a.
I think for 2 CP, that's priced reasonably because you can only do it on 1 unit. So. Yeah, I'm not salty. I'm happy. I'm happy for the Drukhari for that. I think that's pretty cool. I like the idea of that. The sort of change the ammo up, and it's like, what is it in like Need for Speed and stuff when they fire them things at the cars and it's short and everything out. It's that sort of it's haywire, isn't it? It's like a swapping it for a haywire shot or something. That's cool. That's cool.
Okay, as long as you're not too.
I'm not too. Until you do it and. It destroys something, and then I'm not too salty. I think that's a cool little. Yeah, I like that.
Good. Now, another one I liked, Murderous Descent. This is a 1 CP stratagem. Okay. Use it in the reinforcement step. After a transport unit from your army is set up on the battlefield, any units embarked can disembark when they're set up, but they can't be set up more than 9 inches away from enemy units. So you can bring in your transports from reserve and get your units on the field.
Can they then act normally? They count as coming in from deep strike, I'm assuming.
Well, I believe so. They count as having just disembarked.
If you could, I mean, whether you can. I assume you can't then move.
You can't move.
You're coming down at the end of the movement.
You're coming down at the end of the movement. You can't move. But
you can't move. Yeah. Whether you could charge or something, that'd be.
Yeah, you can charge.
That's tasty. That's nice. You drop your incubi out, big 10-man blob of incubi or something, and you'll be like, "Hello," come flying in.
And it goes nicely with Swift Outflanking, which is another 1 CP one. Select a Drukhari's transport that is wholly within 9 inches of any battlefield edge. Remove that unit from the battlefield and place it into strategic reserves.
So they can just fly back up.
Yeah, if you're stuck on one side of the board you don't want to be, you can sort of reposition. I love stuff like that. I'm all about that.
That's cool. I like the idea of a raider just screaming up and high up and just that's cool.
It fits in nicely. Now, I do want to point out some of these are just poor.
Some of the stratagems are poor.
Yeah, there's one called Shock Prow, which is I don't want to go for the whole thing because it's complex, but in order to use the stratagem, which is 1 CP, to have a chance of dealing some mortal wounds, you have to have already paid for the Shock Prow upgrade on your vehicles. So I'm paying the points, and I'm spending CP to potentially do some mortal wounds. So where I charge with my vehicles.
You paying the points for Shock Prow? Does the Shock Prow therefore give you anything unless you use the stratagem?
I think it gives you a little bonus in combat, but
okay, that would have been real kicker if it did sweet jack. Unless you then use the that would have been really bad. Okay,
and then there's Deadly Rivals, which is 2 CP.
Okay,
you have to have a Reavers and a Hellions unit within 12 inch and visible to each other. They get 1 inch extra movement and can reroll attacks with melee weapons. It's just got a little bit too much to it. Like, why have I got to be within 12 inches and visible and spend 2 CP for this? You know,
so they both gain an inch to the move.
Yeah, and they both reroll melee attacks, melee hit rolls, which is good. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
But to be within 12 inches and visible, and it's 2 CP for me is just there's too much to it. You know,
I think giving only an extra inch that don't.
What?
Why?
Hey, an inch can make all the difference, son. Steady on.
You either want to go a full 6 incher, or you just hilt it. Like, there's no. I think giving an extra inch. If I like the idea of that, because they are like, you've got the gangs of that box set.
That's the idea.
Gangs of Comorra and the all
Deadly Rivals.
Yeah, I like that. I like the idea of that. Just 2 CP. I mean, Hellions can Barney in combat, can't they?
They've gone up to damage 2 now, which is why people are getting excited about them. But it's just a lot to it. Like 2 CP, you got to be within 12 inches and visible. It's just there's a bit too much to it. Like,
especially, I suppose it's one of them. If you're going in there with that game plan of using that, if you then, all right, I'll just kill all the Reavers.
Yeah,
you can't do it. So
yeah. But anyway, that's it for stratagems.
If it comes
up. The key thing is with stratagems, anything you enjoyed from last edition is pretty much still there. You can still, do all your little tricksy stuff, which was key, because we had some really nice stratagems that were useful. So it's good to still have them.
That's cool. Okay. Lovely. Well, if that is everything with stratagems, then
that is.
We shall just quickly, and then we'll have a little break. We'll go over the secondary objectives then, because everyone at the minute are getting about 3 or 4 objectives. I assume the same for the Drukhari, and by your sigh, I assume not is all well in Comorra.
So I'm sorry that to end on this, and we'll probably just have to do a little paragraph afterwards, just so we don't end on a negative note. But what the fuck was going on here is just beyond me, man. Like,
so you're not in on it. You're not. No, not.
So I'm going to go through all of them.
Okay.
Quickly. So the one vaguely takeable one is called Take Them Alive. So you get 3 victory points if any character or monster units were destroyed by a melee attack made by Drukhari. Okay, happy days. 1 victory point if any other unit was destroyed by a melee attack. You might take that.
Okay, so if you kill things in combat, you get some victory points.
Yeah, happy days.
Okay.
Then there's this one. Beasts for the arenas. Score 3 victory points at the end of the battle for each enemy, monster, cavalry, or beast that was destroyed by a melee attack made by a Wych Cult unit from your army.
Right.
Now,
so very situational, depending what you're playing against.
Cavalry. I ain't seen cavalry forever. And I ain't charging my witches into monsters or beasts. Believe me.
No.
I know that it's Wych Cult, so you could use your vehicles and stuff like that, but I just think, come on, like,
that's not.
It would have been so easy to call that something like slave trade or something, and have it Wych Cults killing infantry in combat or something as they take slaves back to for the arenas.
Yeah.
I just think, come on.
Yeah, it's a bit of a stick.
You're not taking it. You're not taking it at all.
Yeah.
Fear and Terror. Score 1 victory point at the end of the battle round for each model that fled from an enemy unit. All right, you might get 1 or 2 a turn.
Yeah, okay.
And then this is the worst one for me. Herd the Prey. Score 2 victory points at the end of your turn for each table quarter that does not have any enemy units wholly within it. Can't be scored in the first battle round.
An anti, the other
It's
way round of the four corner on the.
It's a worse version of engage on all fronts.
Yeah.
Why
it's
am I going
on
to
all
put
fronts, but anti?
Yeah, but why am I ever going to put the control of my victory points entirely in the hands of my opponent? Like engage on all fronts, that's in my hands. I choose where my units go. Herd the prey. You know, you could just drop a deep striker unit behind me, and bam, I'm not getting.
Yeah.
You know,
is there like, you know, in how it works the other way? What's the other one called? The
engage on all fronts. It doesn't have the
like the step up. You have like the depending on. It's just if there's you have to just be like boom. One.
Yeah, it's 2 victory points for each quarter that doesn't have any enemy units in. So turn 2, you can't score at turn 1. Turn 2, maybe you get some, but against a decent opponent who knows what he's doing, you're not getting any points out of that.
Yeah.
Particularly when it doesn't have the 6-inch from the center of the table stuff in it. So you could have one. You know, once you get to the center of the table, it's easy to get in them quarters.
Yeah, I see. I think all of them are. They sound Drukhari in name.
That's it.
But in the actual what it is, not so much Drukhari.
For me, they've just tried to go that little bit too fluffy with it. And don't get me wrong, I love a fluffy rule, but a rule doesn't have to be bad just because it's fluffy.
No,
you know,
no.
Let's do it. However, that's the secondaries.
But you can always choose other secondaries.
Exactly.
So
this is what I mean when I said that the book has bad choices in it, but you always have another choice you can take that is good. So the actual power of the book is maintained.
Yeah.
It's by no means a weak book on any sense. It just has some weak options in it.
No.
Which is not the end of the world.
Lovely job there. Well, it's well done.
I feel I've released so many thoughts.
You are going to sleep well tonight.
I am,
sir.
Is this what it's like when you did the Death Guard one?
Yeah. And my mouth was so dry, I couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't watch it. Well, from everything you said, and you know all the little bits we've been previewed and we've seen, and now it's obviously here. It sounds good. Everything sounds pretty good. There's a few stinky bits. There's a few bits that are not really needed, but overall, would you say that you are quite happy with your first impressions of this book?
I am more than happy with my first impressions of the book. I'm really excited to get to it. I'm really glad that it's kept the I need to learn how to play this army before I start winning games feel to it.
It's not just a Marine. No offense to Marine players, I'm one myself. It's not as just you take these things and you just crack on.
It comes down to mistakes.
Yeah.
As a Marine player, you can make mistakes. As a Drukhari player, you really can't.
No.
And I like that. Yeah. It's really going to reward people that put time into the army and learn.
That master.
Become an Archon.
Become that Succubus, that homunculus, yeah.
And you've got you've got to play like an Archon. You've got like Marine players. It's going to be interesting from a psychological point of view because as a Marine player, you lose a unit as a Marine player, and you're like, oh god, that's a lot of my strength of my army gone, and I could have done with not losing that. With your Drukhari list, you need to be like, oh, you've just killed a Raider and 10 Kabalites. Fine, I've got more. Oh, you've just killed my Ravager. Great, all my transports have got Dark Lancers on. Like, that's how you need to think. Don't get attached to your units like an Archon. They will die.
You just got to go with the flow. But you've got to know your army inside out. I suppose. I think picking your units is going to be quite key as well.
Yeah,
making sure you've got the right stuff to deal with everything is it's like any army, but I think it is going to be quite key with Dark Elder. You have got abundance, but it's quite weak abundance at the same time.
Yes.
It can easily become shit. I've got nothing left.
Yeah. Keep the odds in your fight. Like a Dark Elder or Drukhari is never going to fight fair. He's never going to fight you one-on-one.
You want some dust in the eyes.
Yeah, it's going to be pocket sand in the face, and then his mate stabs you in the back.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's how you need to play it. Don't let your opponent dictate what's going on, and I love that. I'm excited.
Fantastic, lovely. Well, we shall take a small break, and then we shall come back, and we will do our second part of the podcast and do our hobby progress and that all-important pick of the week. And we shall see you very soon. Hello, and welcome back to the second part of the Under Fire podcast. I am still Sam, and I'm still hosting, kind of. It's weird. It's weird.
Wearing somebody else's shoes.
It is. Anyway, right. We are going to go over our hobby progress for this last 2 weeketh.
1 weeketh.
1 week. Oh, of course it was. It was only last week. Yes. So the last week, even better. I've got more excuse to have not done anything. Right, I'll go first. It's like I say, I've not done a lot. I think I'm going to put some posts up tomorrow on Instagram of what I have done, and it is my little secret project, which is not really that secret anymore. I think you kind of understood what it was. Basically, as Drukhari are coming out, I've just been painting a few Drukhari models. That's it. That's not.
I'm excited to see them.
There's no secret. But I've completely revamped anything I ever had. So I've made a new color scheme. I've made lots of little things. So I've got a nice few things to take some pictures of. And one thing that I'm particularly this was the secret project, basically, this model. So it was the model that got me back into painting a bit of Drukhari and getting the feelers out. And it wasn't really due to the fact Drukhari are coming out with a new codex. I got this model. I think the model came out in September or earlier than that, I think. So it's something that I've just been plodding along with and messing about with, but I've converted something.
Oh.
And it's pretty tasty. I think it's pretty tasty. But I'm going to take some nice pictures and I'll probably put them up tomorrow.
Exciting.
So I've had a bit of painting, a bit of that. Apart from that, I've fully cleaned the garage now. So the garage is now a workable workshop / gym / gaming area. So it's looking nice in here. It's feeling nice. Yeah, it's a lot warmer as well. No, it's not as cold outside. It's warmer in here.
It's probably because of the temperatures changing.
I can only guess that that's the cause, but it's really nice in here. Actually, it's really really nice now. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I've not done too much. Not apart from purchases. Purchased the Drukhari book, pre-ordered the Drukhari book, which hasn't arrived. And I pre-ordered the Book of Rust, which also hasn't arrived. That has been sort of dispatched, but just hasn't turned up. So, what can you do? And that's about it. That's all me done. So how have you been for the last 1 week, not 2 weeks?
I'm feeling pretty good, because I managed to paint 3 Venoms.
Mm-hmm. I saw.
And I stripped them on Sunday, and I've done all 3.
This is a 1 week job.
This is I've done them by the end of Thursday. I've painted so many Venoms, I can now do it at such a rate.
You know the curves of that.
I
better than your own woman.
Yeah, it's exactly how it was. Because I'm sort of adding it up, so I now have 7 fully painted Venoms. Now that sounds like I'm an absolute dick. I'm not. I paint. Well, I am a bit, but I do. My Wych Cult have their own set of Venoms. My Cabal have their own set.
We can let you off. We can let you off with that.
I'm very unlikely to run all 7 at once. I may, but I'm unlikely to. So I have 7 Venoms. I've painted 6 and then stripped them. So I've painted 13 Venoms.
That's a lot of Venoms
in my life. So I'm pretty adept at painting Venoms now.
I don't think the heavy metal team has painted 13 Venoms.
Probably haven't.
They've probably only painted one. At the most about 2 or 3 for the pictures. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. So, but that is all I've done. That was my whole.
Still pretty. That's
feeling pretty good that it's been a week and I've done 3 Venoms.
From if you strip them Sunday, finished them Thursday. That's pretty darn good. I couldn't. Yeah. I wouldn't. I probably wouldn't have the time, and one wouldn't be arsed. So you've done good. You've done really good.
I just got in a flow,
Yeah.
That's mostly it for hobby progress. I did pick up some magnets. I'm going to magnetize the sails on my raiders for ease of transport.
Okay, yeah. Yes, they are quite thoroughly irritating.
Yeah, if you take the sails off, they're 3 inches-ish, so they'll fit into 3-inch foam. With the sails, you've got to lie them down, and things get snapped and broken and stuff like that. So I'm going to magnetize the sails so I can just snap them on and off.
Very cool.
Which I'd wish I'd decided to do before I painted one of them, but hey.
Have you glued them, or are they all unpluckable?
But I've glued them with super glue, so they are.
You should be able to. I mean, you should be able to just chop them off anyway, drill it out. So
that's it. So I should be all right. I also bought. I spent £130 on battle foam.
Oh, take a step back.
Yeah.
Just literally take a step back. I also bought some battle foam. Actually, I forgot to mention.
Oh right, okay.
I saw there was the big sale, the big spring sale came on. So
they've got us both.
Yeah, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy some stuff. So I bought a it was like some what was I think it was about £100 on these stacker box things that had got like just a shite ton of bits.
£100, 2 stacker boxes filled with foam.
Yes.
Yeah, we bought the same thing.
Did you get that as well?
Yeah.
Well, great minds. I just saw it and I thought, that's a lot of foam. I was reading through the thing. I was like, that is an awful lot of foam. And those boxes actually look quite good. So
I already have 2 of those boxes.
Are they good?
They're really good. So they fit the foam in perfectly snug.
Lovely.
And they stack. They're called stacker boxes. They stack the little card.
They don't.
The tabs fit into one another, so they stack up nicely and they're sort of supported.
Lovely.
No, I think they're brilliant.
I saw that and I say, it was about £100, wasn't it? About 90. I think it was about 95.
When the tax and the shipping went on, it came to like 120 quid, I think.
Yeah. But there was just a lot of foam.
It is.
Sorry, I'm interrupting your thing, but yeah.
If you're buying foam, I need to hear about it.
I know,
you,
to be fair.
Son, just scare me with how you carry your models about. So
4 nights in a plastic box with nothing strapped down. That's the way to live. It's the way to live.
The reason I did buy that foam though is because I'm moving house and I'm already padding. A lot of what I have at the minute is just sitting in foam, not secured and stuff like that. So now it has to move somewhere. I need to up my game. So I got that. And I bought some more paints. I bought some more Monument Hobbies Pro Acrylic paints. Oh, yeah. I think you mentioned these a few weeks back, didn't you? I did. Yeah. I'm going to say it again. If you're not using these paints, you're doing it wrong.
Creamy.
That's what I'm saying. These
Creamy
are...
paint.
Oh, my God, mate. I know it's just paint, but... Jesus.
If you could bathe in it...
I would. I mean, I can. And I will.
Well, yeah. You need a lot of paint, though. The small bottles, but a lot of thinner.
I'm gonna bring some round to you,
okay,
so you can have a look at them because they're just on another level, man. But that's it. But that is it. That is it.
Still very good, very very good. We've both bought some protective equipment, which kids I would always recommend.
Always
protection.
Bag.
Always wear protection for your miniatures. Right. So with that out of the way, shall we get on to basically what everybody listens to this program for? The picks of the week.
The pick of the week.
Would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first?
I'm going to go first, if I may.
That's fine. No, you can go first. Of course, you can.
The hosting's got to his head. Power's got to. So you're going to love this.
Okay.
And after last week's double pick, I was worried.
That was something else. That was
that you might have done it again, but I don't think you have. I've gone for, and it's all one word: Grizzly Paints. So GRIZZLY Paints.
Grizzly Paints, all one word. I've seen this stuff yet. Yeah.
So this guy has done a Space Wolf Successor chapter, but it's bears rather than wolves, and I love it.
So sick.
And the post in particular is his third one down. It is some berserkers he's done.
Yeah.
That just look like barbarian,
it's very
space
cool.
marine, shirtless.
Yeah.
It's just cool that he's gave the chapter so much flavour. Like every model he's done's got like bear motifs on it and fur and
very cool.
He's done Logan Grimnar getting pulled by
these boar things,
boar Kodo type things,
yeah.
That look a bit bearish, and yeah, it's just and they're all really well painted and converted up nice, and as usual, Instagram pics is just me going.
Oh, no, they are very nicely done. I love that idea of taking Space Wolves, but just these guys are space bears.
Space bears, yeah. The claws of Ursus, and the scheme's really nice as well. Like it's a white armor with like a brown. It has like a it's weird because it's armor, but it has a very like Viking-y feel to it.
Yeah.
With the colours and stuff like that. I love it. It's beautiful. Check him out. Grizzly Paints.
Yeah, very, very nice. Okay. My pick of this week is Morrow Workshop. All one word, and that is MORO and then Workshop.
Easy ones to say today.
Yeah, I like it. Might have to start being part of my thought process when looking through. So not his last post, but his post before that is his.
It spins.
It's a spinny. It's a spinny. If you're looking at home, he's done like a Havoc squad. It's like an aspiring champion that he's done. Awesome. Just love everything really about it. Yeah. Color scheme. I love the base, the weathering, the glow on the stuff coming out his back. Because I think he's used the flies that sort of Typhus has got coming out of Typhus, but he's put them onto that. It's just awesome. Just really nice use of the colours on the greens and that. And that plasma glow is pretty sweet.
Do you know what I really like about it? And this is a weird thing. He's got his foot, the base is on a rock, and he's putting his foot on the rock, yeah?
Yeah.
That looks so natural the way he's positioned it. Like, it's easy when you do a leg up on a something like that. It's easy to make it look a little bit unnatural because you're dealing with a model and you're trying to fit.
Yeah.
But it literally looks like he's taking a step.
Yeah.
And standing in an awesome hero pose. Like, that is nice.
Very, very nice. Just a lovely little model. Great page as well. Guy paints awesome. Absolutely beautiful. He's got some Luminef stuff a bit further down. Some of the like the eagle things that they've got. It's like it reminds me of like the bits you can get on World of Warcraft, the little pets you could have, like the little sentinel
like
owl. Yeah. It's like Taronda's owl.
That's cool.
Yeah, just really nice. But yeah, check him out. Awesome painter. Morrow Workshop.
Lovely.
Yes. So that is that. My first.
It's a long one.
Yeah. My first go at the helm, and a big day for you and the Drukhari. It's just winners all round. It's been fun. I've enjoyed this.
Have you enjoyed the helm?
The power is coursing through my very being.
You can have it back at any point.
I could just say this is the end of the podcast at any point. I mean, we're coming up to it, but I feel I just go, no, I'm done. Done. But I feel very powerful. But yes, it's been very fun. Awesome review there, Sam, on the Drukhari, mate.
I hope it was well received. There's a lot to go through, and I wanted it to feel like it had structure as I was going through it, rather than just me spitting out stuff. But because there's so much of that book, and it's easy to dart from place to place. Hopefully, it made some sort of sense.
It's a difficult one when there's an awful lot of changes. There's so much wordy stuff to go through. But no, you cut through what was good and what was bad. Your thoughts there perfectly. So yeah, smashing. So next episode will be a bit more of a deep dive into the Drukhari Codex when we, like say before, when we get the Codex themselves and we can properly strip it back. Maybe think of some nice combos, some the key units that you're going to see a lot of, what the real winners units wise and stuff like that. We will go through that next time. So have you got anything you would like to add?
Don't believe the hype. Hellions again. That's all I'm going to say. That's my message of the day. Is
a fantastic message to end on. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Don't
a
trust
cliffhanger
Hellions
for next episode.
Yeah, Hellions aren't what they cracked up to be.
Exactly.
Yeah. Get yourself a Segway. Quite simple. Right. Well, we shall love you and leave you, and we will see you for the next episode, which will be next week.